Fun things often come in small packages. All right, today we got the UTAS UT9 Mini. Let's have some fun. Yes, it takes Glock mags, boys and girls. All right, let's go. Yeehaw. All right, welcome back everybody. Eric here with Iraq Veteran 8888. Notice those double taps on the poppers as they fell. I couldn't help myself but try out this little brake that comes on this guy here. This is the UTAS UT9M, stands for Mini. And this is one thin little gun. Look how slim it is. That's one thing I noticed initially when I picked this thing up and was checking it out. Nice slim little package, 6-inch barrel. This is threaded 1/2 x 28, so you can run whatever muzzle device on there you want. But it comes with this really cute little 3-chamber looking brake here that comes on the gun stock. So I thought we would play around with that and run it loud a little bit. And it is kind of loud and obnoxious a bit because brakes tend to do that. But talk about controllable. I mean, wow, like absolutely zero recoil from this little guy. So those of you who are into AR-15s are going to love this particular gun because it has a lot of familiar sights and sounds going on that you're going to come to expect out of an AR. Very familiar safety location, obviously your trigger. Your magazine release is a nice generous area right here on the right side of the receiver. As we mentioned in the intro, I kid, but of course it does take Glock magazines, which is wonderful. This one's wearing the mag pull brace. It is an adjustable brace, okay? You can actually run a folding mechanism on this if you want. So with this little thin brace and this buffer assembly on something like a folding mechanism, you could certainly get that nice and compact. And I love how thin this particular gun is. It is a blowback, very specially lightened weight bolt, so very smooth operation, okay? The slide stop itself is this little knurled knob right here on the left side of the receiver. So you actually do have an AR-15 style charging handle. And for those of you who are familiar with the manual of arms of the AR-15, you're going to be very happy, obviously, with this particular setup. I do find that charging it and locking the bolt to the rear manually can be maybe just a tiny bit cumbersome, but overall, not too terribly difficult once you get used to it. This particular pistol did come with a hand stop attached. So that's to keep your hands from accidentally getting close to the muzzle. And also these knurled, textured components on the end of the hand stop can also serve as a way to stage the gun up on a barrier. A lot of people don't realize that about hand stops, that whenever you have that texture on front, that's what that's for, so you can stage it up on a wall and kind of dig it in if you want. So that's a nice feature. We opted to drop on our Crimson Trace Rad Max Pro. This is a great ruggedized red dot, and I thought that it would go really well with this particular pistol. Reason being because UTAS is bringing these in at a very respectable price point. So I thought that this would be a wonderful optic that doesn't break the bank, that can really fit this particular rig quite well. One thing about this particular UTAS, which is cool, these are completely US made, US designed and US manufactured. You guys may recall the UTAS shotguns from back in the day, and some of those shotguns obviously had some minor teething issues, and in some cases some major teething issues. I've been told though that UTAS is doing a great job of making sure that people are made whole and made happy on that particular arrangement. So it's really cool to see them making stuff here in the US and kind of treading some new water and designing some new products, which is really cool. I was really excited to get this in, especially because the price point on these things comes in at close to the same price as like a Strybog. Okay, so you're getting into that Strybog territory, and there's a lot of good marks that this gun gets right out of the box that the Strybog took a little while to get to this point. Now the guns are obviously quite different in terms of their operation. This one is just a basic blowback, but that's fine. But for the price point that it comes in at, I think it's an attractive option for people that are looking for a small compact PCC that's lightweight. It's a very light little setup. You still get some decent velocity out of the 6-inch barrel, And let's face it, that break is just cool. Let's try that out a little bit more, have some fun. Let's shoot it out to 50 yards, and I'm gonna do some rapid fire a little bit too. And we're gonna see how well this break helps keep me on target. Now granted, this is just 9mm, and we are gonna be feeding this gun a variety of different magazines. So let's have some fun, and we'll talk a little bit more as we go. All right, 50 yards. Beautiful. All right. I'm gonna do some rapid fire. That was too much fun. I'm gonna have to do that a little bit more. Woo! Had one double up on me there. I was feathering that trigger a little bit too fast. Yeehaw! Okay, let's try that again. All right, maybe not so fast. All right. Okay, maybe I was trying to go a little too quick. Okay. I will say this, a couple of observations just in some rapid fire there. That little brake is very effective, obviously, and it's a very simplified brake. I mean, it's just directing those gas forces up and tending to keep the muzzle flipped down a bit. The thin extrusion that this upper is made out of, that's fine. It appears to be just one continuous extrusion, which is no issue, but because of its proximity to the trunnion that holds the barrel in place and the way the barrel's mounted, the little guy does get pretty freaking hot, okay? And we are lobbing quite a bit. You know, we're shooting this thing pretty quick, but after those amount of rounds, I mean, I can still hang on to that handguard, but boy, it's starting to cook a little bit. She's getting hot, okay? And that's not a big deal, but just something to make note of. I'm just constantly impressed at how all of these gun companies, I mean, not just UTAS, but tons of other ones. One gun that comes to mind initially, what is that company out of Florida that makes those? Diamondback. Have y'all seen that little Diamondback 5.7 with that really thin little receiver? When I picked this up, this made me think immediately of that thin little 5.7. So I think it's cool that they're getting everything nice and compact, but there's no such thing as a free lunch in science and physics and things like that, and thermoconductivity, if you will. So there is a little bit of heat transfer, but not bad. All right. See if I can get this thing to double up again. I think that was just me feathering the trigger a little bit too haphazardly. Okay, now it ships with a couple of magazines, and the magazines are not marked, but these are the mags that the gun comes with. I'm gonna test the stock mags that come with the gun, and then I've also got a couple of varieties of different brands of magazines we're gonna try just to see what'll work well and everything like that. The Glock mags seem to be working just fine. Okay, here's the mags that come with the pistol. Do a little bit of shooting here, have some fun. Failure to feed on that one. Try again. Failure to feed. So I think it's safe to say we're gonna opt not to mess with those mags. SGM Tactical, all of these mags are loaded with 124 grain Bellom ammunition. Okay, here's our SGM magazine. This is out of the batch of magazines that we ran in the Glock meltdown video. So same mags, they've only been ran a couple of times. Let's give them a try. Thank you, Chad. All right, SGM Tactical. Failure to feed. Failure to feed. Korean Khan magazine, K-H-A-N. These are like $20 Glock copy magazines. Let's try these out. Doesn't fit the mag well. Okay, something I want to mention. Chad and I were just discussing this earlier. These Khan magazines have always been a little bit on the overmolded side. So this is not the first time that we have not had these magazines fit the mag well on a given firearm. So I'm not going to chalk that up as being the fault of this firearm, and more of just the intrinsic nature of these particular magazines. They tend to fit most Glock pistols just fine. I think we've all, seen them work just fine in pistols, but PCCs, it seems that the magazine well specs are kind of different across the board. So I kind of really just confirmed something that Chad and I probably were already thinking was going to happen, was that it wasn't going to fit the mag well. So I'm actually not surprised there. I am a little surprised that the SGMs didn't work because we've had really good luck in everything else. All right, here's a Glock factory magazine out of the UTAS UT9 Mini. Let's give it a try. Okay, let's try these out. Well, that worked. So it seems that the Glock, the genuine article Glock magazines are probably going to be about what the doctor ordered on this particular gun. So just something to kind of bear in mind, but I do like this setup. I think it's got a lot of potential. It does seem that it's going to be a little bit magazine picky, so that's probably just something to keep in mind. Let's try this again. And the whole time, this has been the same exact ammunition, 124 grain Bellom, okay? And so far, the OEM Glock magazines seem to be the ticket. All right, we'll run it a little bit more. And this thing's a real charm to shoot rapid fire. Very easy gun to control. I am liking that. And the accuracy is quite good. Now, I'm just kind of going crazy on this close target, but let's try to get a little bit more precision, take our time here, have some fun, okay? Not bad. Wow. I mean, that right there seems to be the ticket. We do have some sodas here that are staring us down. I don't think we're gonna let those things get away before the video's over. All right, another OEM factory Glock magazine. Let's give it a try. Soda pops. Not bad. All right. I'm gonna call this one the double tap special because, oh, I'm sorry, controlled pairs. I can't use the term double tap. That's too politically incorrect. This one's forever will be known as the double tap special to me. Because that little break on the end, if you don't mind just running it loud and being obnoxious, it delivers the goods, y'all. Pretty cool. Right. I mean, there's not many situations where you can double tap headshots with a PCC that fast. I mean, that's some pretty fast splits to be making accurate hits out at, you know, extended ranges. I do like this pistol, and I think it shows a lot of promise. It is a newer design, so something you want to keep in the back of your mind anytime you're messing with this sort of stuff. Always vet your magazines, vet your ammo, and treat the entire package as, you know, a giant puzzle that you've got to solve, right? Do not just buy a random mag and stick it in your gun and assume that everything's okay. And there's a lot of situations where, I mean, I guess if we just want to compare, let's say, to a user commodity like cheese or milk or bread or whatever, right? You know, there's just certain times when you have to buy the OG real deal product. It would be like buying a fake Geisley trigger. Like you wouldn't do that, right? Like you would buy a Geisley because Geisleys are great triggers. So I feel like with Glocks, you know, especially, you know, PCCs or anything that takes a Glock magazine, you know, really that kind of, you know, OG, genuine article Glock mag, they tend to be the most reliable in my experience. And that's not to say that we haven't had fantastic luck out of the SGMs. I'm kind of surprised that mag didn't work. I'll tell you what, let's try it. Let's try it one more time. Just give me a chance here because I really want to see this mag work. We ran this in the meltdown video, and we ran mag after mag after mag after mag of the SGMs and didn't have a single issue related to the magazine. So it's kind of odd that the original Glock mags are running just fine, and why would the SGM choke? So just humor me and let's just try it one more time before we let you guys go for the day here. Let's have a look. I've got a few rounds remaining, maybe half a mag. Let's try it and see if we get the same issue. Okay. Double feed. Failure to extract. Oh, and look at that. We got a piece of brass caught behind the extractor in the receiver. Wow. Yeah, it's in there. Yeah. Well, that's going to merit some further research, I think. But we definitely figured out a few of the inherent gremlins that the gun could have. But there's something we want to kind of keep in mind here, is that I think for what these guns sell for and the price point they come in at, as long as you feed them good magazines, I think you're going to be, you know, liking life just fine. As you can see, the OEM mags tend to work just fine. Just with any PCC, no matter what it is, if you are going to use some aftermarket magazine, just always vet it, especially if it's something you're going to protect yourself with or trust your life to. And that's probably just good advice, no matter what it is, right? But I think it's a really great little setup, and for what they cost, I think it's definitely got some potential. And we'll see as more people get them in their hands and run them, how well they hold up. And look, in the accuracy department, I'm quite pleased, very accurate. That little brake is quite effective. The trigger's decent. I like the ambidextrous safety. I like the location of the magazine release. It's got familiarity in terms of the controls and the aesthetic and form and function of the gun. If you're familiar with ARs, I think it fits a niche, a very distinctive niche that I think will do quite well. Definitely want to thank everybody for watching today's video. Thanks for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed today's presentation. Just want to take a quick moment to thank everybody who supports us on Patreon. Thank you so very much. Thanks for watching today's video. Go over to Ballistic Ink and pick yourself up a snazzy new t-shirt. That's one way that you can support our efforts if you wish to do so. Many more videos on the way, and we'll see you soon.